Today I'm working on decorating my latest altered book, and I thought I'd give you a peek at some of the stuff I'm using. Let's start with bottles. I love glass bottles of every size and shape, and anytime I see a package of them at the craft store, I buy them. These are little test tubes. I think I bought these in a lot of science-related glassware on eBay. These little bottles I've used in various craft projects in the past in some of my kits. I got these in a big bunch on eBay. If you search for glass bottles or glass vials, they'll come up in different sizes, and it helps if you know how to convert millimeters to inches, because a lot of these things are sold in millimeters or milliliters. So I think most of these are like crafty purchases, but I pulled two out to show you. This one is from some nail glitter that I bought at the dollar store. I think there were like 6 of these little bottles in a pack for $1, and I saw them not as nail decoration but as tiny glass bottles that were really cheap. It has this little plastic doodad at the top. I've been pulling them out, and I buy corks at the craft store, or you can order them on eBay if you know what size you need. Been sticking corks in them, and that's probably too big of a cork for this bottle. So the solution is to cut it down with your handy craft knife. And to do that, you basically decide how tall you want it to be, and then very gently roll the bottle back and forth. You don't want to saw the blade, you just want to roll back and forth until it cuts through the cork. And then take a little sanding block. This is a fine sanding block. And sand it flat, so that it doesn't look like it's been cut off. It looks more natural. And there you go. Perfect size cork for that little bottle. I think that one goes up here somewhere. This is the other one I wanted to pull out. This is my favorite big flat bottle. And you can see it has a red metal top that says Adam's Extract. This is a vanilla extract bottle from the grocery store, and this comes with a little box around it so you can't see that it's glass, but it's one of the few extracts that still comes packaged in glass. And I love these bottles because once you scrape the label off, doesn't that look cool? Nice and flat, fits in there, but it takes up a lot of space. And again, I'm going to cram one of my corks in here, and now it looks completely different. So, and this is big enough to take some really hefty stuff. So I think what I'm going to put in it is these shells. I had someone send me these because I don't live near water, but if you live near the ocean, these little shells that wash up on the beach are pretty handy. Because they look really good inside stuff. And there used to be a little animal in here, but I'm going to pretend I don't know that. And they just pop right in. So once I get this all filled up with shells, it's going to look really cool. Other things that I like to use for filler, and I'll start with the drawer that I have out right now, which is all my ocean stuff. Here, let me move stuff around so you can see it. This is my drawer of ocean stuff. Sea glass, again, I either buy this or have people send it to me in exchange for collage sheets. If you know somebody who lives by an ocean that gets a lot of sea glass washing up on the shore, you can swap with them. These are fake sea glass from the craft store. I think I got them in the floral department. They're pretty handy. Flat glass marbles in color, and I also have some clear ones in here, or they're in my glass drawer, one or the other. But these are pretty handy. You can put them in bottles that have large openings, and you can also write words and put these over them. River rocks. Sand. I think this is beach sand. I'm not sure where it's from, but it has a lot of black in it, and I really like that. And then this one someone sent me, it's white sand. And if worse comes to worse, I have sand around the side of my house in some landscaping. I have been known to go outside and grab some sand out of that. Another thing I like to use a lot for filler is glittery things. So these are all my different powdered glitters. And I really don't use loose glitter as glitter because it gets all over everything. So pretty much everything in here I use as bottle filler. And this is diamond dust, which is slightly larger. This was from the Christmas section at Hobby Lobby one year. They sold this as some kind of bottle filler. It's tiny, holeless glass beads, and I have them in gold and silver. And I think I've had this bottle for like 4 or 5 years, so it lasts forever. Remember those tiny glass bottles that I mentioned that had the nail glitter in them? Here is the glitter I took out of them, and I combined the various types. So if you are into nail art and you end up with glitter that you don't like in your package, you can use it as a bottle filler. And that's what all of these are. And then my favorite sneaky trick. This is pink sugar crystals from the cake decorating section of my grocery store. Colored sugars come in all different colors, and as long as you're sealing the bottle so vermin and water can't get to it, colored sugar is really great. This is clear glass beads, tiny glass beads that they use for sandblasting. So if you know anybody who does sandblasting, hit them up for some of these because they're hard to come by. And then this is sand that they sell for kids' sand art. It's really fine and it comes in every color in the rainbow. And it's pretty cheap. I think this was, yeah, $2.49 for this huge thing. And this is like a lifetime supply. I will never need to buy more white sand in my lifetime. So this is really great stuff because it's by itself, it looks really kind of cool and you can't tell that it's sand when it's in a bottle. My next round of stuff to fill bottles with came from the spice cabinet. This is red chili powder, chipotle chili powder, and paprika, all really great sort of earthy red colors. Yellow mustard seed, probably one of my favorite things to use as bottle filler because it looks so cool. And then any sort of green herbs that you have in your cabinet at home. This is parsley, and I don't use a lot of parsley, so this is good for me to use it up. And fennel seed looks pretty cool. And then from my hardware box, I grabbed this. This is blue marking chalk. It's the chalk that they use in snap lines for construction. You can buy this in the hardware store where they sell the snap lines. And it comes in different colors, blue, white, I think red. I bought blue, and I only bought this because I wanted to use it as bottle filler. And it, as an extra added perk, it has this convenient little squeezy top. So let me pick a bottle. How about this one? So I can just turn this upside down and squeeze, and it goes right into the bottle. And it's just ground up chalk. But it looks really cool. There we go. Now I have a bottle of beautiful blue, which looks kind of fun in an arrangement with a bunch of natural colors. Then all of a sudden there's this blue and maybe some of this really earthy red, and now you've got a really interesting mix of colors going on without turning to anything that looks too unnatural. Here are my filled bottles, and I'm going to go through and tell you what they are. Starting with this one. This is parsley, mustard seeds, shark teeth, which if you don't live near an ocean, you can get them on eBay. Little flakes of gold leaf. Whenever I gold leaf something, I save all the little shreds that I dust away in a separate bag and use them. One of the ways why I use them is doing this, using them as bottle filler. White sand, fennel, snake skin. A friend of mine collects skins of snakes that have shed their skin, and she gave me a bag full of them, so I put a little piece of snake skin in there. Those limpet shells that I showed you earlier. Chipotle chili powder, blue sea glass, dead flies. Periodically I get an infestation of flies in my workroom. I think it's because my garden is right outside the window, and it attracts flies and gnats and all sorts of bugs. So I kill them with bug spray and leave their little bodies sitting on the windowsill for a while, and then I collect them and put them in a bag for just this sort of thing. Kind of gruesome, but you know, it's one of those things that when you're looking at a piece, you definitely don't feel like this was purchased at a craft store. Sunflower seeds from my garden. Silver holeless beads, and that blue chalk.